Hello WGT players, Clint here again with another video, and this is going to be on how I mapped my punches. I did a video 2 videos ago about pitching, and I mentioned there that I would do one on punching at a later date, and this is the date. But I'm on the same hole, Bethpage, hole 1. Wind is not real important, but you still want to do practice mode with low wind. You want to try to get it below, 5 miles an hour. If you can get a straight side wind, facing the green here in the fairway, is even great. But I got a, 3 mile an hour wind, which is 50%, which is actually about 1.5 mile. So it's not going to matter. It's not that bad. It's not going to, be real drastic change. The only thing with me, the same with the pitching, of course, in practice mode, which I said before, I'm on 13 speed greens for my tier, but practice mode only goes up to 12. And I found out that I had to add a yard to every one of my punches from the 13 greens to what I got on my 12 speed greens. I had to add a yard for when I was on my 13 speed greens. So just do this on whatever speed green that you're on, and if you happen to be on 13, just do the same thing I did. Just did them all on practice mode, 12 speed, mark them down, and then come back over here again and score mode and see how that equals out. Like I said, I found out that I had to add a yard to each of my ones. So pretty much like the punches, you want to go still from the flatter area down here, because you got an extra foot if you go up here, so you want to try to keep it in down here. So of course my first punch is about 50 yards. This is my these are my punches. I did all of my 64 wedge, my 60-yard club first, so I would know where I needed to start at with my next longer club, my 60 wedge, which is my 80-yard club. So since I went to 50 here on this one, I started at 51, and then I got down to 63. So then I went to here, said okay, and then I went to, next was 64. So, and just like on the pitches, they were all 4 back for me. Well, different on the punch. It's flat, of course, is an F, then 85%. 80% is 2 back, 2 clicks back, and 75 is 3, 70 to 60 is half back, which is 4 clicks, and so on. 5 clicks, 6, 7, 8, 4 back, 4 back. But that's what that is there. But you just basically, to find out where your starting point is what I did. I just did a full 100% punch flat to see what it did. And what your goal is, you want the ball to roll maybe, well, you want it to probably roll in the hole if you can get with the punch. So you don't want it to roll more than a yard though. You don't want to do that, because then you're turning your punch into a punch/putt. So you want it to roll no more than a yard after it lands. So just do a flat 100% punch to figure out where you're starting at. Okay, so as you can tell, it's 49 for me. And it did roll back just a smidgen, but it pretty much stayed 49. And so then that's where I said I had to add a yard for each one of mine, because, from going from 12 speed to 13 speed. Okay, so if you're doing it on the green speed that you actually play on, then you wouldn't want to do it flat. Okay, so let's act like that I'm playing on 12 speed, so I'm going to be mapping for 12 speed. So that means flat was a little bit too much backspin. So I want to go one click up and see what that does. Okay, you went 50 yards and you rolled a yard. So that would probably be good. Let me try that again. I was watching these. I think I seen the ball roll backwards once. That was my reminder. If you heard that sound, I have a haircut appointment in 1 hour. That was my phone reminder. But anyway, you want to look at the actual full yardage and everything. I lost my train of thought when my little alarm went off. So let me do this again. So we go one click up. That was a little bit more than a click. There. You want to look down here. Okay, 49. Boy, did I go up a click? Yeah, I did. Wow. That rolled back further than the other. Okay, so we'll try. Two clicks. Okay, that was 49 right on the nose, and it didn't go anywhere because it said 49 here, and 49 there. So we would go 3 clicks. That's a flop. Boy, how many times have we done that before? And you want to try to get as close to the thing as possible. Okay, and that was the same thing. It was 50. But what you're basically doing, you're just trying to find out what your, I'm going to go 4, what your starting backspin, forespin, flat hit thing is, and what your starting point is. And also, I've got the max, has the same effect. I got the max spin. So unless you add the max spin, you're not going to have as much spin as me. Because see, I've got a 5 spin on my max. Wait, yeah. So I've got a 5 spin on my max. So unless you have the same type of club, you're probably not going to have to be going, half top. I'm just going to go all the way to the top. I already have that. See, for me, it was perfect at flat because I knew that I'm doing it on 12 speed and I'm going to go to 13 speed. I knew it was going to roll forward a little bit. So I just stopped at flat and went from there. But let me see what full top. There we go. That's what you're wanting right there. Okay, you see it roll forward. Went 51 and rolled a yard forward. So that's what you would want. So what you would do is, let's say I did 100%. Okay, I'll put this over here. 100%. was 52 yards. So you would go 52, and of course F for, well, we went full top. FT for full top. Okay. Now the bad thing about that is, if you notice, it was full top here, but as I hit it less, I had to give it more backspin. Okay, so I started at flat, I went all the way to full back at 30. You're starting at, well, let's say you had the same club and you played on 12-speed greens, and you're doing this on 12-speed greens, you would have started full top. So I would say you probably go back to flat, because I went from flat to full back. So this one is full top. You'll probably go down to maybe hitting it flat. But then I would go to 95% and C full top. I'm going to move it over here. 95%, see what it does. Okay, that rolled 2 yards, so you don't want that. Well, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Okay, so for what I would do is I'd probably go full top 2 back. It rolled 2 yards. Okay, that's perfect. So 48 went 47 yards and carried 1, or rolled 1. So I'd be 48. So you'd put 48, and it would be, you can code it any way you want to, but for me, I would probably go full top -2. Okay, that's the way I would do it. Full top, 2 clicks back. And then, like I said, you just keep doing that all the way down. And you know that your 64 or your 60-yard club, or whatever club you're using, your shortest club, your furthest punch is 52 yards. So then you can go to your next shortest wedge and see if you can, what is, 53 to 54 yards, and start doing, and go from there. And, what is, like I did, I went, I can't remember where I started at. I think I might have started at 50% and then said, whoa, but you want to go what your shortest distance is on your next longer club. Start there and start hitting it harder and harder until it maxes out. And then you know how, far that club goes. Then go to your third, if you got 3, go to your third longest wedge and start out to where your last one left off, if that makes sense. You're just trying to get your punches for all of your wedges is what you want to do. Okay? And that's basically what you do. You just hit it just like like all the other calibrations and learning your club videos and stuff that I've done. You just want to hit it, find a starting point to what you're comfortable with on your shortest wedge, hitting 100%. Like I said, you probably want to have it roll at least 1 yard, no more than 1 yard though. You might be fine if it's your personal choice. If you just want it to land and stick, that's fine. But just start at flat, see what it does, and then go from there. All right? Well, that's a quick little video on how to do your punches. And another thing I mentioned on my last video, that on my 60-yard club, my 64 wedge, whenever there's an up elevation, figuring my shot, and yes, you want to figure your shots for punches. You don't say, okay, I'm 65 yards away from the hole, So I'm just going to do a 65-yard punch. That don't always work. You know, if you got like a 20-mile-an-hour headwind or tailwind or 15 mile an hour, I mean, you can't, you know, like a pitch. So, okay, I need to go, you know, 60 yards, I'll do a 60-yard punch. So you have to figure your punches just like you do your regular shots. And as I was saying, on up elevation, on any time I use my 60-yard club, I would, instead of using 4 up, I would go 2 up. And yeah, I know that doesn't even barely make a yard difference. But if you're like on Olympic 18 and you're 20-something feet up, that makes a lot of difference. Because instead of doing 20 feet, you only figure in 10 feet. Because if you figure 20 feet, you probably about 7 to 10 yards long. So anytime I use my 60-yard wedge, I only figure half of the up elevation. If it's down elevation, I figure the whole thing. Only half on if it's up elevation. Other 2 clubs don't matter. It's full elevation no matter what. All right. Okay. Well, that'll do it for this video. And you have a great day.